Gandhi's image undergoing a change during Bharat Jodo. Even the BJP now is not attacking him using pejorative terms like Pappu. But does that necessarily mean an electoral transformation? Does that necessarily mean that it will result in more votes for the Congress in 2024? But first, the story.
ये देश तपस्वियों का है, ये देश पुजारियों का नहीं है। रियलिटी इस देश की ये है। और अगर जैसे मैंने कहा इस देश को सुपर पावर बनना है जो आप कहते रहते हो, तो तपस्वी की रिस्पेक्ट करनी पड़ेगी, उत्पादक की रिस्पेक्ट करनी पड़ेगी।
Rahul Gandhi triggering yet another controversy during his Bharat Jodo Yatra. Referring to himself and other Congress leaders as Tapasvis and the BJP and RSS as Pujaris. He claimed BJP and RSS don't respect tapasya but want the public to worship them.
RSS की पूजा अलग है। RSS चाहता है कि फोर्सिबली उनकी पूजा हो। मोदी जी चाहते हैं, इसलिए वो आपसे नहीं मिलते हैं, कि फोर्सिबली उनकी पूजा हो और देश में सब लोग उनकी पूजा करें।
The BJP hit back and accused Rahul Gandhi of indulging in divisive politics.
तपस्वी हो या पुजारी हो, ये दोनों ही महत्वपूर्ण हैं हिंदू धर्म सनातन धर्म में। परंतु राहुल गांधी कहते हैं कि ये देश तपस्वियों का सम्मान नहीं करता। मैं सम्मान करता हूं, परंतु ये देश पुजारियों का नहीं है।
The Tapasvi versus Pujari controversy comes weeks after Congress leader Salman Khurshid compared Rahul Gandhi to Lord Ram.
भगवान राम की खड़ाव बहुत दूर तक जाती है, तो कभी कभी खड़ाव लेकर भी चलना पड़ता है। हमेशा हमेशा भगवान राम नहीं पहुंच पाते हैं, तो खड़ाव लेकर चलना पड़ता है। तो भरत उनकी खड़ाव लेकर चलते हैं, तो खड़ाव लेकर हम उत्तर प्रदेश में चले हैं। उत्तर प्रदेश में खड़ाव पहुंच गई है, तो राम जी भी पहुंचेंगे।
Rahul Gandhi has been accused of playing the soft Hindutva card on multiple occasions. But will the latest remark backfire for the Congress party?
Go across to our debaters tonight here on Brass Tacks. Aparajita Sarangi is Member of Parliament of the BJP. Adil Singh Bopra, spokesperson of the Congress Party. Rashid Kidwai, senior journalist, closely tracking the Congress Party. Arun Anand, consulting editor with First Post. And Shubhrashta is a political analyst. Adil Singh Bopra, let me start with you. What is the point that Rahul Gandhi is trying to make, trying to bring in this division between Tapasvis and Pujaris? What is the political point that he's trying to refer to here?
Well, Zaka, good evening. Firstly, it is critical to understand what is the Bharat Jodo Yatra about. The Bharat Jodo Yatra is about uniting people. The glue which binds the BJP is divisiveness. The glue which binds the Congress is cohesiveness. It is unity in diversity. So I think it is important that we understand this, number one. Number two, there is no debate or there is no wrangle between Tapasvis and Pujaris. What Rahul ji has said, and unfortunately the BJP's IT cell chief pulled out 17 seconds of almost a 2-minute clip and distorted the real meaning of what Rahul ji was saying. Rahul ji is trying to say, and this is exactly what he said, it is evident and audible to any person who wants to listen to him, that the BJP believes in capturing institutions. The BJP believes in capturing dissemination of information. On the other hand, the Congress party believes that the only antidote to this kind of monolithic, this kind of temperament to emasculate India is tapasya. It is to struggle. It is to create awareness.
No, Adil, can I with your permission, Adil, can I with your permission read exactly verbatim what Mr. Gandhi said? This was, of course, in a media interaction today in Haryana. He said, and I quote, BJP is a Sanghatan of Pooja. RSS BJP wants them to be forcibly worshipped. Modi ji wants this, and that is why he does not meet you in the context of the media, that he be forcibly worshipped and all people in the country should worship him.
I can respond.
Now, tell me, what does that mean? Who is Mr. Modi going and saying, please forcibly worship me? I mean, what does he mean?
I'll tell you what the BJP is doing. I'll tell you what the BJP is doing. Perhaps you may not agree with me on camera, but your viewers will agree with me that the BJP is using all institutions at its command. The BJP is using all institutions, money and muscle power at its command to capture and emasculate every institution in this country. It wants every institution, unfortunately, even the media, to sing to its tunes.
Okay,
There are brave
Aparajita
journalists like
Sarangi.
you who can speak the
So,
truth.
so
But
what?
you are a minuscule minority.
What Adil is
An
saying and what the Congress
overwhelming
party
number
is
of
saying is
journalists and media has been
this
captured by
this
the
whole
BJP.
debate or painting of Tapasvi versus Pujari is basically a metaphor. The larger messaging that Rahul Gandhi is trying to send is that the forcible puja is the capture of institutions, whether it is judiciary, election commission, media, etc., and that is the forcible puja that the RSS BJP are making all of this country do. That's what the Congress is saying.
I think that's evident.
Yeah, Aparajita Sarangi to respond. Yeah.
A very good evening. Please allow me to speak a few words in Hindi. ना समझ ही रहते तो अच्छा था, उलझने बढ़ गई हैं जब से उन्होंने समझदार होने की कोशिश की है. See, this is divisive politics of Congress at its best. They have been trying to kind of drive a wedge between Hindus and Muslims all the while so that they can get some votes, right? And now among the Hindus also they are trying to kind of go for groups. Tapasvi and Pujari, how do these words actually are spoken? Tapasvis are important, Pujaris are important, and to say that Bharatiya Janata Party is a party of Pujaris, what does it mean? Our Prime Minister, I say proudly, he is both a Tapasvi and a Pujari, and we are proud of the fact. He has been working so very hard and with a sense of renunciation. He has been working day in and day out for the country. See, it is always good to have great regard for the Tapasvis. This is a land of Tapasvis. But at the same time, we should not denigrate Pujaris. Now, what Rahul Gandhi said, it's a question of his kind of no respect for the Pujaris. Is this right? And I tell you, I take you back to one of his statements a couple of days back.
What they are trying to say is that there is a forcible servitude, forcible puja that is happening. That is what is the problem that the Congress has.
What do you mean by forcible puja? See, these are the people who put a question mark on the astitva of Ram. Now, when we are going for a Ram Mandir construction, they have problem. When we are talking of Hindus, they have a problem. See, they have been opposing Hindus all through, and now there is a kind of categorization, there is a kind of groupism even among Hindus that he is going for. Tapasvi and Pujari. I think he should better guard his words and he should stop indulging in spiritual discourses. In fact, whenever he starts doing that, you know, his ignorance is actually baffling all of us. And I tell you, there was a time a couple of days back when he was moving around. Please give me 30 seconds.
Okay.
Please give me 30 seconds. There was a time a couple of days back, he was moving around with a t-shirt on with no sweater.
Yeah.
And when a journalist asked him, why are you not wearing a sweater? He said, why are you wearing a sweater? The journalist says, I feel cold. And you know what Rahul Gandhi just said? He said, you are wearing sweater because you are afraid of the cold. So don't be afraid of the cold. I am not afraid of the cold. So I think these kinds of statements smacks of ignorance and kind of, you know, conveys immaturity.
Surely in this country there is more to discuss than Rahul Gandhi's sartorial sense, whether he's wearing a t-shirt or a jacket. But be that as it may, no, I want to talk about the larger question here. And Rashid Kidwai, while on the one hand, Rahul Gandhi and Bharat Jodo are being credited for, you know, keeping the pace, staying the course. People are, of course, aligning themselves with the Bharat Jodo. A lot of people have turned up from Kanyakumari all the way now to Haryana. It will go to Kashmir by the end of this month. Whether or not that will translate into electoral success, that's a different ballgame altogether. We'll stay away from that debate. What I do want to know is, one of the consistent things that Bharat Jodo was given credit for was that Rahul Gandhi is steering the Congress away from this whole soft Hindutva business. He has realized that that's not working, that's only playing to the BJP's advantage. So let's go back, let's pivot back to hardcore secularism. This was one of the things that people gave him credit for during the Bharat Jodo. But suddenly now, with things like, you know, Tapasvi or Pujari mein kya farak hai, BJP zabardasti puja karwati hai, is desh tapasviyon ka hai. Why is Rahul Gandhi again, it seems like he's resorting once again to soft Hindutva, the old playbook as it were.
I think, Zaka, we must understand Rahul Gandhi is a bit of an unconventional politician. Even for the, his line of thinking is often at variance with the Congress line of thinking, or whatever Mr. A.K. Antony or Chidambaram also they say about Hindutva or Hinduism and all. Rahul Gandhi has a very different point of view, and I think now that he's more sure-footed, whatever limited success this Bharat Jodo Yatra has achieved, he's starting to show his elements. He's playing politics as per his whims and fancies. He is, in that sense, traditional sense, he's not a stakeholder. He is, for the record, he's not aspiring to be Prime Minister simply because the Congress cannot hope to, at this point of time, win 100 Lok Sabha seats or more. So what he is doing is he's getting into a territory where many congressmen are uncomfortable about, or many political commentators would advise him not to go. But this is something which is dear to his heart. If you see from his 2012 statements onwards, you see he's been saying this. He wants to de-link this thing about that BJP's brand of Hindutva and Hinduism. You may mock, but I think going by the responses now, I think Rahul is being taken far more seriously. He's not a subject of ridicule any longer.
Okay, so let me ask Shubrasta that. I think, forget about the Tapasvi versus Pujari. Even BJP folks would off record say that they did not expect Bharat Jodo to get this kind of reception in terms of people who are walking along with Rahul Gandhi. Well, like I said, whether or not that translates into election success, that's a different ballgame altogether. Do you believe that Bharat Jodo, and through Bharat Jodo, Rahul Gandhi's sort of pejorative, almost joked about image has undergone a transformation?
Zaka, it would be far-fetched to say that his image has gone a transformation, but I do give credit to Rahul Gandhi for taking up a yatra and following it through. This is one of the rare moments in his political career that he's actually taken something up. And as you said, what political relevance of the yatra is, that is up for debate. How electorally it would really swing votes in his favor is a matter of another discussion altogether. But I think this yatra should be given credit for. However, Zaka, there are a couple of points that I was trying to jot down while the fellow panelists were speaking. It's good actually for the country that Rahul Gandhi speaks. Because the more he speaks, the more we realize why we don't need an opposition leader like him. His words are never self-explanatory. He needs spokespersons either in the Congress party or in the media to explain what exactly he meant by what he said. People like you, people like me, people like Rashidji, we don't need translators and, spokespersons to explain what we mean. What we say is what we mean, and there are no hidden agendas and hidden messages there. Also, when Rahul Gandhi speaks, sorry to use this term, but he sounds foolish. Because when you draw a line between a tapasvi and a pujari, you are actually trying to say that puja is different than tap. And there are a lot of pujaris who will legitimately take offense to it. So if you don't know the Sanatan Dharma, if you don't know the Hindu philosophy, you don't necessarily have to go on and pontificate about it. You could have stuck to the agendas that you wanted to take up, for example, unemployment, for example, price rise and all of that. Why do you have to deviate into an area, as Varun Grover says, on which BJP already has a mastery? You shouldn't go there. The other thing is, Rashid ji said that he's an unconventional politician and, he's some, if I could gather from him, is some sort of a maverick. But last I checked, he's a chief leader of the Congress party. What he says, or what he comes from a family which has been in controversies all throughout for their political legacy. So what Rahul Gandhi says or does cannot be seen in an independent light.
Sure.
What does the Congress party have to say on that? None of the spokespersons come and say that, what Rahul says is completely, we don't agree with what Rahul has to say and all. I've been in political communications, Zaka, professionally for quite some time. And I think the two principal adage of political communication is brevity and clarity. Rahul Gandhi is neither brief nor clear.
Okay.
Till now, I don't think these are two traits that he has shown, which is why there is a lot of confusion as to what kind of message he wants to send across.
Yeah, no, on that one point, I think, can Rahul Gandhi afford to be a maverick? I don't think so, because like you said, I mean, he represents a principal opposition party in this country, and you have to be part of the mainstream, not be a maverick. Anyway, I want to play out a piece of breaking news. This is the latest in the tutu meme that's been going on between the BJP and Mr. Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi has now taken another dig at the BJP and RSS. He has said that they are comparable to the Kauravas of the 21st century wearing half pants. He also likens his party to the Pandavas who fought for justice against the Kauravas. Now, let me just play out that soundbite of Rahul Gandhi and then I'll go back to our guests.
जो उस समय लड़ाई थी वही आज लड़ाई है। पांडवों ने भी नफरत के बाजार में मोहब्बत की दुकान खोली थी। 21वीं सदी के कौरव हाफ पैंट, खाकी हाफ पैंट पहनते हैं, हाथ में लाठी लिए होते हैं और शाखा लगाते हैं।
So Arun Anand again, he's saying 21वीं सदी के कौरव हाफ पैंट पहनते हैं, हाथ में लाठी लेके घूमते हैं और शाखा लगाते हैं. This whole reverting back to, religious references, mythological references. Again, what was the need to bring in a Kaurav Pandav? I mean, I get it. You like Shubrasta said rightly, you stick to the issues where the BJP is weak. If you feel price rise, unemployment, these are the biggest issues and these are the issues that matter to the people of this country, you stick to those issues. Why are you deviating into Kaurav Pandav and Tapasvi Pujari, which is A, not your turf or terrain, and B, again, you're playing into the BJP's strengths?
Zaka, can I come in, please?
Let me ask Arun, after that you. Yeah, Arun.
Zaka,
Yes, Arun.
Zaka, I think you have raised a very pertinent point. See, the first thing is that Rahul Gandhi probably, it seems that is not doing his homework well, because he needs to upgrade his knowledge. The RSS does not use khaki pants anymore. It has changed into, the brown trousers. So that is one point. So when you are making a statement, at least you should get your, your basic facts right. Second is that, see, the problem is that Rahul Gandhi is trying to, it's a desperate move. He's trying to play on the pitch of Hindutva, because he feels that that is the strong point which BJP has. And it's basically because of the wave of Hindutva that BJP is, garnering so much of support from the people. But he doesn't understand probably that it's a combination of, delivery on the ground, a strong organizational cadre, and apart from that, then the concept of Hindutva. And BJP has always been very clear about it. It has, whether it was the Ram Temple issue, whether it was Uniform Civil Code, whether it is Triple Talaq issue, or whether it is appeasement of minorities, their concept has been very clear. Their ideological roadmap has been very clear. But now, Congress, the problem of Congress is that Congress is right now bereft of any ideology. So what do you do? So this is a desperate effort. One is this. Second is that it also shows, puja and tapasya, basically they are integral part of the same process if you go by the, Hindu Shastras or Sanatan Dharam traditions. So there is no dichotomy between the two. It also shows that, I had said it in an earlier show also, see, the problem of Congress is that after Rahul Gandhi has taken over the reins of the party has moved to radical left. So now from one pendulum, and they really, were battered in the number of elections. So from one extreme, now they are trying to move on to another extreme, but they don't realize that they are going to play on the BJP's pitch. And people are not going to take, it's a very well-known fact that Congress has been anti-Hindu, and it has basically, propagated pseudo-secularism. These charges stick to them. Otherwise, I'll just give an example to round my point off.
Yeah.
The difference is that this government comes and, bring the Triple Talaq bill. And if he remembers, how would we justify what happened in the Shah Banu case? What Rajiv Gandhi did. So I think, actions speak louder than words.
Okay, let me Adil respond to that. I mean, A, you can't be swinging like this pendulum from left of center suddenly to right. Again, on the right, you are playing on the BJP's pitch. That's the accusation against you. What is the need for Rahul Gandhi to bring in these religious issues when on the one hand you accuse the BJP of being religious and divisive and not talking about the issues that matter, which are economic issues, livelihood, jobs, price rise, etc. So please explain to our viewers why are you making this swing?
I've got your point. I've got your point. Zaka, I want to say this at the cost of repetition. The Congress party has often said this. We do not need unofficial BJP spokespersons, commentators, so-called communication strategists to give us advice. They must keep their advice to themselves, number one. And number two, they need to understand this very, very clearly.
Then Congress as a party, I'm not going to take this line low. You should boycott all debates as a person.
I'll give you a chance to respond. Let him finish. Also, Adil, I don't think look, this is a free country. You know, everybody is
Can
free
I complete,
to.
Zaka? If
Yeah,
you
yeah.
call the Congress, can I complete?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
You can
Go ahead.
continue with your sermon after.
Yeah, yeah.
after.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Secondly, I need to tell these unofficial BJP spokespersons and so-called strategists that they do not have a monopoly on Hinduism. Please understand this. You are not the sole custodians of Hinduism. Please understand this, and I hope it really percolates down.
Who says?
Number two, Zaka, the people of this country have not elected the BJP to give us theological lessons. The people of this country have elected the BJP to deliver on their promises and to govern this country. And to my friends from the BJP, we do not see Indian citizens through a religious prism. We see Indian citizens as Indians. That is the fundamental distinction, which unfortunately you haven't understood. Now, coming to the issue at hand,
please, one second. Adil, help me understand. Help me understand. You, like you said, you are well within your right to be raking up issues which matter to the people, whether it is price rise, whether it is, even the issue of communal harmony. No one has a problem with that. But what is happening as Rahul Gandhi veers into this soft Hindutva territory is, again you get accused of the accused of the same thing, that you're playing to the BJP's gallery. Why are you playing to the BJP's gallery?
I'll respond. That is Zaka Jacob's interpretation. That is not the Congress Party's interpretation. And you are not a script writer.
No, fair enough.
We go to a temple, we go to a Gurdwara, we go to a mosque, we go to a Pir Baba's masjid, and we go to a church. This is our interpretation and this is our outlook. If somebody else in the BJP, officially or unofficially, has a different point of view, they are most welcome to have it. For us, it is religious harmony. For us, the Bharat Jodo Yatra is about unity and diversity. And quite clearly, the BJP's official and unofficial spokespersons are quite perturbed.
Okay, Aparajita Sarangi, respond to that. What Adil is saying is communal harmony is very much part of the agenda of Bharat Jodo, and communal harmony, according to them, has worsened in the country over the last 8 years. Whether that is Pujari versus Tapasvi, or whether it is, somebody calling Rahul Gandhi a Tapasvi, Rahul Gandhi saying BJP RSS believe in forcible pooja, all of those are secondary. The moot issue is, are the people of India better off in the last 8 years, whether it's on economic parameters or religious harmony parameters? Adil Singh Boparai and the Congress's point is they are worse off. Aparajita.
With an open mind, let's try to understand the objective of Bharat Jodo Yatra. See, Bharat Jodo Yatra has been designed by the Congress Party through people like Jairam Ramesh just to relaunch and repackage Rahul Gandhi. And that's why Rahul Gandhi comes up and says, I'm no longer the same old Rahul Gandhi. I'm a new incarnation of Rahul Gandhi, the earlier one. These kinds of statements actually do not go down well. And I think he is failing his own party men who have been actually trying to repackage and relaunch him. So basically, they are all failing in their objectives to kind of present a leader before the country who talks sense. Now, here is a leader who does not do his homework when he comes before the press. He doesn't know how to handle the questions. You just listen to listen to Rahul Gandhi when he talks to the media. I mean, he's indulging in spiritual discourses without knowing. I wonder whether he knows the role of Kauravas and Pandavas also. See, his role is to come before the media once in a while, to get into newspaper columns, and I tell you, this kind of yatra is not new to the country. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee ji had also done yatra. Lal Krishna Advani has been doing yatra. Murli Manohar Joshi had done yatra, but then those were for cultural renaissance. Those yatras led to cultural renaissance. But as far as this is concerned, he uses this yatra to attack the opposition once in a while to get into newspaper columns. But he should do it, no problem at all. He is in the opposition, but he should have done his homework well, and he should talk sense. That's it. And he should not try to insult the Hindus.
I'm moving on to Rashid Kidwai.
He has been.
I'm asking Rashid Kidwai, the proof of whether the yatra is a success or not, ultimately, whether you like it or not, in a participative democracy, will be decided by electoral results. You may say, yes, crowds have, aligned with Rahul Gandhi, tens of hundreds of people have walked with him, The fact that he has, stuck with it for the last 4 months in itself deserves credit, no doubt about it. But ultimately, if it does not translate into electoral success in Karnataka and in, the other states, the other big states that are going to polls in the run-up to 2024, then what good is this yatra? What's the point of this yatra, Rashid Kidwai?
Yes, Saka. I mean, that stands. That is, of course, a kind of litmus test. But I think Rahul Gandhi has understood this, that there is no point for Congress being, following soft Hindutva or whatever, or try to be a B team of the BJP as Mr. Antony and Mr. Chitambram and others are propagating. I think there is a lot of disquiet within the Congress, and they want to make a kind of sharpen their ideological position vis-a-vis, so to say, Hinduism or Hindutva or majority community, etc. I think Rahul Gandhi is following that advice that was tendered to him by Stephanie Cutter, who was part of team Barack Obama, and she had told him, instead of being popular, you try to be a polarizing face, and that is what he is doing. So you may say that he's maverick, disruptive, whatever, but I think it is making an impact within Congress and outside.
Okay. Shuvrashta, instead of trying to be a likable figure, try and be a polarizing figure, because ultimately the politics of this country is so polarized that people are going to one way or the other, either like you or hate you, and be unabashed about it.
Yes, Zaka, before I respond to your question, let me give some nuggets of advice to official spokespersons of the Congress party. Official spokespersons of the Congress party have joined the BJP and become national spokespersons here. So I don't need any advice from Congress spokespersons as to my professional life. If I were to join officially a political party, I would have done that, and I know my abilities and my merit, and I know which position I would be in. So there's a reason why I'm not in professional politics. So I don't appreciate the jibes taken by these congressmen. They have a problem. They should boycott debates with me. I have boycotted debates with so many Congress people. They should do that, firstly. Secondly, when you go public with these visits to temples, Gurudwara, dargahs, etc., public opinions will fly. You're no longer doing it in the four walls of your house. And public opinions will fly because this is a political yatra that you undertook. So instead of getting acerbic on national television, what the Congress party needs to do is ramp up and amp up its wit and also the insipid flavor that they have in all these conversations.
Okay.
Now, Rahul Gandhi, to me, sounds like an over-enthusiastic kid who has not, because of some circumstantial catastrophe, does not have basic literacy about India's cultural or religious significance, and which is why he says things which has absolutely no meaning altogether. When he compares Kauravas and Pandavas in the current context, then there will be counter opinion, and if there will be counter opinion, then the opposition, if the Congress really wants to remain the national opposition, then they really need to bow their heads down to the general opinion of the public, which you said and is correct, is decided by the electoral fate in this country, and listen to what people have to say. All this kind of jugglery on national television is not going to help.
Okay.
And attacking me surely is not going to help the Congress party.
I'm going to wrap it up at that. We'll see how this plays out. Like I said, on the one end, yes, credit to Rahul Gandhi and Bharat Jodo for sticking to the larger message, which is of A, communal harmony, B, the people's issues, the livelihood issues that matter. They have largely stuck to that. But by slipping into territory which A, it's not their forte, and B, it's the pitch of the BJP, is that helping or hurting the cause of the Congress and the opposition? That, of course, is for the Congress and for the opposition and for Rahul Gandhi and his team to decide. But clearly, with another, 10, 12 days left for this end of the Bharat Jodo to come to a conclusion, one must see how this will eventually translate, and if at all it will eventually translate into electoral success. But we'll leave that at that. The other big story that happened today, of course, happens to be in the state of Tamil Nadu. The unending tussle between Tamil Nadu Governor R.N. Ravi and the DMK government under Chief Minister Stalin today took a new turn. All hell broke loose in the assembly after Governor Ravi modified a prepared speech and omitted some sentences that were written by the government. Now, taking exception to this, Chief Minister Stalin moved a resolution in the presence of the governor in the assembly demanding that the original speech be put on record, to which the governor walked out just as the Chief Minister finished his speech and just as the national anthem was about to play. Remember, the DMK has accused the governor of sitting on more than 20 bills, and R.N. Ravi has taken repeated jibes in the recent past about the so-called Dravidian model of governance. The question is politics trumping policy?
let us say Tamilagam is more appropriate.
Protest is to express our displeasure against Mr. R.N. Ravi. He is just a spokesperson of the RSS.
His view as regards Tamil Nadu and Tamilagam in the context that he used is really bothering the opposition parties.
All right, on the talking point this evening, Narayanan Tirupati is Vice President of the Tamil Nadu BJP. Kalanidhi Veeraswamy is a DMK Member of Parliament. Sumant C. Raman, political analyst, and S. Muralidharan, political analyst, also joining us. Mr. Narayanan Tirupati, let me start with you first. First things first, the speech that the governor usually gives, and it's akin to the speech that the president gives before the start of the budget session, is a speech of the government. It's the government that writes that speech. Of course, the governor, if he has any issues or clarifications, he can always revert back to the government and say these portions, can be have some changes to it. But it is not within the remit of the governor to omit totally portions of a speech which he has signed off on, but on the day of the speech he omits reading out those portions.
No, we are not very sure about what you said, Saka, because the governor it is not necessary that the governor has to read whatever the government gives, because the government, it is very clear by going with the governor's speech, we can understand that the government has concealed certain things which is not true. But the fact of the matter is, initially, even before the governor went to the house, there was a big chaos, entire assembly, and the DMK members, including many DMK members, the alliance parties, they have been shouting slogans, and they were heckling Mr. R.N. Ravi, the governor. And after that, when Mr. Ravi spoke in Tamil, the governor addressing in Tamil, they were taken aback because so far they have been, doing politics, stating that we are against, the Delhi is against Tamil, governor is against Tamil, these Bihar people, Hindi wala, and all those things. So they were taken aback, and that is the reason they were shouting.
No, so I'll get to so there's one portion of the speech, and you can agree that the governor was asked to say that because of the stellar law and order record Tamil Nadu has achieved development and so on. You're free to disagree with that. Yes, you may have a different view that the law and order situation is not particularly great in the state of Tamil Nadu, but these are the words that the governor refused to say in his speech. And I want to know from you, what is the opposition to these words? The word Tamil Nadu, the word social justice, the words Dravidian model, and of course the names of leaders like Aringer Anna, Kamarajar, Ambedkar, Kalaignar, etc. What is the opposition to these words?
Zaka, the words were not, separate. These words were mingled with so many contexts, so many, paragraphs. So we don't know what was mentioned in it, and that is the reason the governor would have probably omitted this. And I don't think it is not. We cannot compel the governor to read whatever there. It is not a rule. It is not it is not it is not unconstitutional something.
Of course, it's not legal or unconstitutional. It's always been conventional, so it's unconventional. Okay.
But as mentioned in Chapter 4 of the Tamil Nadu Legislative Rules, when the governor is addressing the assembly, the section 175 and 176 of the Constitution Act very clearly says that before or after or during the speech of the governor, no member shall obstruct or interfere.
Sure. So let me ask Kalanidhi Veeraswamy, who is joining.
One minute.
Sir, there are three other guests. With your permission, let me go to others also, please.
5 seconds. 5 seconds. I will finish.
Sir.
So the members, whoever objected during the speech, before the speech, after the speech, including the Chief Minister of Government, should be taken to task.
Okay.
They should be punished.
Kalanidhi Veeraswamy, what Mr. Tirupati said is also right. It's there in the rules of business of the House, as per Rule 17, that when the governor is speaking, and in this case we saw even before he started speaking, allies of the DMK started heckling him, gerawing him, slogans were raised throughout his speech. And the chief minister to stand up, even as the governor is sitting there, and say that we are bringing a resolution against the governor in his presence. All of those are against conventions and rules of the business of the conduct of the House.
Can I speak?
Yes, that question is to you, ma'am. Sir, yeah.
So, see, the thing is, when the constitution was framed, it has been very clearly defined that the role of a governor is to aid and assist the government in existence. He is a constitutional post which is not an elected one, and he is not elected by the people of Tamil Nadu, and he has been thrust on the people of Tamil Nadu. So he has to understand that his role as a constitutional personality, it should be to aid and help the government. And if you are talking about conventions not being followed, the speech was given to the governor's office on the 5th, and on the 7th, the governor had expressed that he has gone through the speech and it was okay. If he had had any reservations or any issues to be discussed about, any alterations to be made in the speech, he could have very well spoken earlier. He could have raised this issue and he could have said that I'm not comfortable with certain things, where there could have been a parley and there could have been a discussion. But now, on the day when the speech is going to be made, suo motu, he takes a decision that he is going to change, alter whatever is given. Whatever the BJP government is doing today, they are setting a constitutional crisis. See, this is a way where tomorrow the president also can go against the ruling central government, the union government. And if you are going to set up a precedent like this, you are setting a dangerous precedent where allowing these kind of constitutional persons to act on their own.
But Mr. Veerasamy, he's shouting slogans when the governor is giving a speech. How constitutional is that? Sloganeering and gerawing the governor while the speech is on, how constitutional is that? Chief Minister saying we are going to pass a resolution in the presence of the governor. How constitutional is that?
When the governor entered into the chambers, the house, all the DMK cabinet, including the chief minister, gave him the proper respect, where they were all awaiting for his arrival, and they all sat after he took his chair. And whoever had garrowed, they are members from other parties. How can you hold us responsible?
Your allies. Your allies.
Even their party was there.
Your allies.
Interested in raising some. No, DMK members.
Let me explain. If recently we have had judgment also pronounced that no party leader or a chief minister can hold an MLA or MP of their party accountable. This is the law which has been recently, there was a judgment given this way. So if you are going to be talking about the chief minister or any of the ministers, and when you say alliance partners, we are not talking about elections right now.
DMK members.
Okay. Let me go to Sumant Raman and to Mr. Muralidharan. Presumably this whole governor versus state fight has been going on. I think the moot point, Sumant, is the bills. The governor, the DMK says, has been sitting on about 20 odd bills, some of which he's asked for clarification, some of which he's sitting on. The governor says that many of these bills may not stand the test of judicial scrutiny. They could be unconstitutional. They could be struck down by courts. And therefore, he is not pressing action against these bills. Is that the underlying constitutional sort of difficulty or opposition between the governor and the state? Because all of the rest of it, the speech, the sloganeering, the governor omitting portions of the speech, those could be construed as political theatrics.
Absolutely, Zaka, and I think I got a confirmation from Raj Bhavan that the actual number of bills that are pending as on date is around 15. Whatever it be, the fact that these bills have been pending for months together, and whatever clarifications, to the best of my knowledge, which have been asked for, I think 2 or 3 bills, the state government has already given the clarifications. Now, the point which is to be made here, if assume every governor in every state starts doing this, what will happen to governance? There is a loophole in the law which says that there is no specified time frame within which a governor has to decide. But using that, or rather as I see it, misusing that, is actually is a threat to democracy, because this is a democratically elected government. You like it, you don't like it, that's a different issue. People have voted this government to power. And if he feels that these bills will not pass the legal scrutiny, let him reject it. There is no problem. He can reject it and send it back. The assembly will send it back to him again. He will be forced to sign it. It goes to court. It gets struck down. He has done his duty. What else could he do?
Okay.
He took it. He got the best legal advice. The legal advice was that this would not pass judicial scrutiny, or it was not in line with the constitution. He rejected it. Thereafter, his role in the constitutional setup is itself circumscribed, because he cannot reject it a second time. So if the assembly sends it back, he signs it. Already it is known to the world that he has applied his mind and he has already rejected it once, so he cannot be blamed. It goes to court, it falls through. Now, why can't you do that? If you're not keen on passing these bills, reject them and send them back to the assembly.
Okay.
But sitting on it, I think that there is a strategy, Zaka, in actually not rejecting them and sending them back. And that is the reason, because he knows that the assembly will pass it back again and send it back to him.
So let me go to S. Muralidharan. The other controversy in the run-up to this 3-day special assembly session was this whole fight around Tamil Nadu versus Tamilagam. Now, Tamil Nadu, I think it's not so much the Tamil part of the word that is a problem. It is the Nadu, which means a country or a nation or a nation state. Now, what the DMK and the ruling government and the party there is asking is, if you can have Maharashtra, and in Hindi, Rashtra means also country, just like Nadu means country in Tamil. If there can be a country of the Tamil people, just like there is a country of the Maratha people or the Maharashtrian people, then what's the problem? Why should the name the name of the state change? In any case, that's not the remit of the governor. That's the remit of the elected government. When Madras's name was changed to Chennai in the 1990s, it was done by the elected government of the state, not by the governor.
Yeah, Zaka. See, how important is this debate about Tamilagam and Tamil Nadu? For me, it looks very trivial. Now, these are small issues which a party is trying to blow it up. For example, DMK is trying to blow it up. For a simple reason, things are not hunky-dory here. If things are hunky-dory here, you can talk about Tamilagam, Tamil Nadu, you can fight on every issue. You take law and order, it's in total mess. A woman constable was molested in a party where Kanimoli was participating. Next, we also spoke about social justice. These are part of the speech from the governor's issue. Social justice, when you speak about, few weeks ago, some upper caste people defecated in a water tank of a lower caste people. So where is social justice? We talk about, this is Periyar Month, we have removed casteism here. It is not. Then law and order I spoke about. Then the Dravida Nadu. We keep claiming Dravida Nadu, Dravida Nadu. In fact, it should be the ADMK who's boasting about Dravida Nadu, because they have ruled Tamil Nadu for more than 30 years compared to DMK only 15 years. So all these are illusions and optics. I mean, from morning till evening, we see CM doing photo ops after photo ops. So obviously, they run out of issues. There are bigger issues like, the increase in power tariff. The issues like, 1,000 rupees old age allowance for people. These things they have scrapped. They don't have an answer. So obviously, when they're also running, see, I will not, support the governor 100%. As Mr. Suman Raman said, he was sitting on things. For example, Pera Rivalan case, they had to go to Supreme Court to get a remedy. So obviously, for each and every 15 bills, they have to go to Supreme Court. Then why do you need a governor?
Okay. So Mr. Veeraswamy, is this whole shadow boxing between the state and the governor sort of a convenient cover to take away attention from the real issues, whether it is law and order, women constables being molested when your Deputy General Secretary is addressing a rally? Isn't that an issue?
Okay, now let me respond to that. Now, sir, first I object to this line of debate what Mr. Muralidharan had spoken, saying a constable was molested and nothing was done. Those two people, they have been suspended from the party and they were arrested. And I would like to ask, if you are taking such a high moral ground, what are you talking about the number of atrocities which have happened, starting from Gujarat? And you talk about the amount of atrocities which have happened in UP. We are talking about rape. We are talking about murders. And we are talking about your governments setting those people free. We are not coming and talking about these things. You are talking about the law and order state in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is a very peaceful and it is in a very safe hands. So you don't have to break your head about that. The problem with you saying that Tamil Nadu is or Tamil Nadu is trivial, then why is the governor going about giving speeches in public? He has no business giving speeches in public with any kind of a political connotation.
Okay.
When he has a constitutional post, he is supposed to be a custodian of this government. But he himself is talking ill about an elected government where he is a nominated representative and he has absolutely no business.
Okay,
In fact,
so Narayan and Tirupati, you keep talking about law and order in Tamil Nadu. You know, recently in the national capital, we had a case of a woman being dragged to her death. This is happening in Delhi. I don't want to get into, law and order in other states in the country, but Tamil Nadu's law and order, according to the DMK, is better than most states in this country.
No, Zaka, the problem is that it is governor versus the government. The government says that Tamil Nadu is having a very big peace. That is why the governor would have objected, as rightly pointed out by Mr. Muralidharan, that Erayur in Pudukkottai district, the defecation, that tank was cleaned and again it was given to those people, SC people. You have to understand this. And so far, this government did not have the backbone to arrest those people, whoever has done this. And how can they talk about social justice? Why you not arrested more than 50 days? You don't have the spine to arrest these people. And that is why we say you don't talk about social justice. You don't talk about the law and order. You can't say that Tamil Nadu is having peace. No, we recently had in Coimbatore, we saw how much the blast was there in Coimbatore after this radical activity is taking place.
Okay.
And we see definitely the governor has, in no point of time, the governor is not anyway, he is not legally, as per law, it is not necessary that he has to read what these people have given.
No. Again, no. Once again, it may not be illegal or unconstitutional, but it's certainly unconventional. Like Mr. Veerasamy is asking tomorrow. Tomorrow if the president, Mr. Tirupati, once again, tomorrow if the president decides to omit portions given by the central government reading in the Lok Sabha during budget session, will that be acceptable to the BJP? It will not be acceptable to the BJP.
No. The central government will not give anything objection.
No. One second. Sir.
See, it's a word convention. Conventionally, people used to say, governor used to say Jai Hind. Why last time Jai Hind was there in the speech prepared by Tamil Nadu government?
Okay.
Tell me.
I'll give Veerasamy, Mr. Kalanidhi Veerasamy, and then after that Sumansi Raman. Mr. Veerasamy, if there is a pipe bomb attack at the office of a political party and the allegation from that party is that your government did nothing to pursue that case, in fact, you tried to dismiss it off as a cylinder bomb, then surely, there is something to be questioned about the law and order situation.
No, I will tell you, these kind of attacks have always been happening throughout the country, irrespective of whichever government is. But the question is, what action has been taken? This case was handed over to the NIA several days or weeks back. And what has the NIA done about it? Even we would want like and the other thing is,
act of terror.
Let me kindly finish.
Yeah.
And also, we are talking about a governor whose credentials were. We had a lot of aspersions about his posting as the governor of Tamil Nadu because he came from Nagaland and we know what kind of a track record he had over there. The amount of controversies and complications that he had created in Nagaland. But despite all those aspersions, we were hoping that he would be a neutral person after coming to Tamil Nadu. But we have seen progressively that he is not, and he has come here with a political agenda of an RSS agenda, and we have been...
Sumant, I'll give you the final word. I have to wrap up in a minute. Sumant, yeah.
I just can't understand. Why should the BJP stick its neck out and go out of the way to defend the actions of the government? This is exactly what the DMK is saying.
One second, only Sumant on screen. Yeah, thank you.
Look, Zaka, I mean, at no point is this is not being perceived very positively by the people of the state. In my opinion, the people are solidly behind the government on this particular issue, especially with many of the ideological things, especially the omission of the names of the leaders who are revered in most parts of Tamil Nadu. Now, Why is what is the charge against the governor that he's acting as an agent to the BJP? And here you have the state BJP going flat out to defend whatever he is doing. Why are they doing that? They're doing the hole for themselves.
I got to wrap up. I'll leave it at that. Thanks very much. But it's not the only state. Mind you, we're seeing in a number of other states as well, where opposition ruled states, Bengal, Maharashtra when the MVA was in power there, and of course at the state of Kerala as well. There seems to be this running confrontation between the governor and the government. I'm not saying that the governments in these cases are all exclusively right and the governors were wrong. But the fact is that as our constitutional democracy was envisaged, the governor is only a constitutional post. It is at best a titular post. Ultimately, it is an elected government which carries out the will of the people. And in this case, that is what the DMK is alleging, that the governor, by refusing to read portions of a speech which he signed off on, has moved away from constitutional norms and conventions. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, an exclusive ground report from a sinking town in Joshimath in Uttarakhand. Locals there are alleging this is because of rampant and unchecked development and infrastructure movement. We'll have a live ground report right on the other side.
मैं कहा था पड़ोस वाले के पिच्ची मार रही थी तो उन्होंने उनसे कहा, उन्होंने ये कही तुम आप लिख लो। मैंने कि हम नहीं निकल पाएंगे, शेर है इसमें और आप जाओ। उसने किचन पे बाहर नहीं किया, गेट पे नहीं, कोई नहीं बच पाते। वो तो कमरे में ही उसने इन्वर्टर वगैरह तोड़े हैं, लाइट वगैरह सारी खराब कर दी और ये मोटर वगैरह सब तोड़ दी उन्होंने।
A criminal shot and injured a journalist identified as Rajesh Anal in Bihar's Siwan district. The injured journalist was admitted to Sadar Hospital in Siwan after seeing his serious condition. Rajesh Anal was returning home after closing a shop when two bike riders attacked him and fled after firing. Further investigation into this matter is on.
ये मुख्यमंत्री जी आ रहे हैं, माहौल बिगाड़ने के लिए ऐसा किया गया है, दूसरा कोई बात नहीं। जिला का माहौल खराब किया जाए इसीलिए देखे हैं तो वे बताएंगे, FIR करेंगे तो खुद बताएंगे, अलग कोई बात है। लेकिन माहौल खराब करने के लिए ऐसा किया गया। ये हम
प्रशासन से क्या आप लोग चाहते हैं?
प्रशासन तो हर वक्त जो भी क्राइम करता है उसको पकड़ कर जेल प्रशासन भेजती है। ये भी जो क्राइम किया है वो जेल जाएगा।
The Assam police intercepted a car and nabbed two drug peddlers and one other person near Assam's Jatinga area. The police have recovered 42 narcotic capsules that weigh 20 grams, which the accused kept in small plastic containers. The police have been keeping an eye on the nexus in order to catch them.
एक प्लास्टिक बोतल में मिला था, वहाँ पे छुपा के रखा था। तो टोटल 42 जो छोटा कंटेनर्स है वो मिला है और वेट करने के बाद उसका अराउंड 20 ग्राम्स जैसा मिला है। जितना जो ऑपरेशंस चला रहे थे तो अलग अलग आदमी था, तो उनका जो सोर्स है या किसी का कुछ कांटेक्ट है उस हिसाब से हम लोग जैसे नज़र रखे हुए थे, जैसे इन्फॉर्मेशन मिला कि ऐसा ऐसा ला सकते हैं, तो उस हिसाब से हम लोग ये ऑपरेशन किया तो आज सक्सेसफुल हुआ।
2 workers died and 3 people were rescued after portions of concrete slabs of an under-construction building collapsed in Hyderabad's Kukatpalli. Out of the 3 people rescued, 1 worker sustained minor injuries. The injured worker was shifted to a nearby hospital. The municipal corporation also issued a show-cause notice to the building owner for deviating from the sanctioned permit plan.
VRF local teams and also other local people helped us to clear all the debris. The 5 people was on the top of the building at the time of collapse, and 3 were rescued safely, and 2 people were buried under the debris. And the spot when building collapsed, they might have died. So after a rescue of 5 hours, we were able to recover the bodies.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will flag off Ganga Vilas cruise on January 13. Preparations are currently underway and the excitement is high among people. The people of Varanasi believe that this cruise will be very helpful in attracting tourism and consider it as PM's gift to Kashi. The cruise will cover a distance of nearly 4,000 kilometers in 50 days.
ये विश्व का सबसे बड़ा जल यात्रा है और हम लोगों का सौभाग्य कि ये काशी से चालू हो रहा है, कि बनारस से चालू हो रहा है और ये बनारस से चल के जो इसमें कई देशों के नागरिक रहेंगे तो ये एक विश्व में एक अलग संदेश जाएगा ये जो काशी जल यात्रा चल रही है, और बनारस का पर्यटक इससे काफ़ी हद तक बढ़ा हुआ है।
यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी हमेशा कुछ नया करते हैं, अलग करते हैं, और वो इसकी शुरुआत कर रहे हैं। पर्यटन के क्षेत्र में इतिहास रचा जा रहा है।
Madhya Pradesh CM Shivraj Singh Chauhan hosted a dinner for the NRIs who've arrived for the Prabasi Bharatiya Divas, which is to be held from January 8th to 10th in Indore. Around 500 NRIs are taking part in the meet. Remember, Friends of MP was formed during Shivraj's US visit in 2016.
अपनी ओर से केवल नहीं, मध्य प्रदेश की 8.5 करोड़ जनता की ओर से हृदय से स्वागत करता हूं। आप सबका
उधर हो जाओ भैया, सिक्योरिटी वाले को।
मध्य प्रदेश देश का दिल है और आप मध्य प्रदेश के दिल के टुकड़े हैं।
हाँ,
कब से हम इंतजार कर रहे थे आप।
Amid Bharat Jodo Yatra, Congress MP Rahul Gandhi watched a kabaddi match in Haryana's Karnal. He was accompanied by senior party leaders including Bhupinder Singh Hooda, KC Venugopal, Kumari Selja and Dipinder Hooda. Remember, the Yatra will enter Punjab through Shambhu border on Jan 10th. After entering Punjab, the march will head to Fatehgarh Sahib. While the cold wave has gripped North India, for Congress supporters, the cold is no bar as they danced shirtless amid dense fog during the Bharat Jodo Yatra in Haryana's Karnal. The lowest temperature recorded was 9 degrees in Karnal. Rahul Gandhi has also gained the spotlight for taking part in the Yatra in nothing but a white t-shirt amid a persistent cold wave. The Auto Expo 2023 will be held at Expo Mart in Greater Noida.
Welcome back to Brass Tacks. Joshi Math, the hill town which is the last base point on the trek towards Kedarnath and Badrinath, is sinking. As the new year dawned, more than 600 buildings across the town developed massive cracks and more than 80 families have had to be evacuated on an emergency basis. Here's an exclusive ground report.
Freezing cold here in Joshimath, but many of the affected families are forced to live outside their houses because cracks have been reported in those premises. We are currently reporting from the Gurudwara of Joshimath, where one of the relief camp has been prepared by the state and the district administration for the people to be shifted at the safe location. We are entering a particular room where a family has been shifted in view of all the activities which are currently underway in the Joshimath town, so to say. You can see this is one of the room of the Gurudwara. The families are forced to live here, and even the small children in this freezing cold, they are also in trouble because of the same. Let's take a quick view and voice of the people who are here. आप यहाँ पहुँचे, जाहिर सी बात है कि आपका घर जो है उसमें दरारें आई थी। क्या कुछ हुआ था, कब हुआ था, कब यहाँ पहुँचे, कैसे आप यहाँ पे, अगर आप बता सकें।
ये 2 तारीख की बात है और लगभग 1-2 बजे रात को थोड़ा आवाज़ जैसे साउंड जैसा आया नीचे से, और तब ऐसा लगा कि कोई किसी ने जो है ब्लास्ट किया होगा। अच्छा। उसके बाद एकदम से अफरा तफरी जैसी मच गई, क्योंकि मोहल्ले में काफ़ी लोग थे। तो ये क्या हुआ, ये क्या हुआ, ये क्या हुआ। फिर लोग जो है कि इकट्ठे हो गए। फिर तब दिन को देखा तो सारा मामला जो है इधर दरारें आ गई, उधर खेत फट गए और बहुत सारा जो है दिक्कत हुई।
अब घर का क्या होगा, क्योंकि घर उस हालत में तो नहीं होगा कि आप वापस जा सकें, उसका क्या होगा, क्या लगता है आपको?
घर तो हमारा हो चुका है, पूरा तरह से फट चुका है। हम वहाँ पर जा भी नहीं सकती है और बच्चे को भी नहीं ले जा सकते हैं। अब क्या करें, क्या बात तो समझ में नहीं आ रही है हमको। अब बोले तो क्या बोले।
This is also the visual that we are showing you from outside one of the hotel at the start of the Joshimath town. Clearly you can see that these are huge cracks.